Hello YouTube, Damo_23 here, and welcome back to another episode here on the YouTube channel. In today's video, we have yet again another episode of Damo Does England, and episode number 5, we've got the double header of Spurs and Chelsea play ourselves. It means we've got the North London Derby and then the London Derby, and it's two monster games between teams fighting around for Europe, I would say. We'll throw Chelsea in that bracket. Since we last met, not too much to touch on. A couple of things happening with the squad, but not too much to touch on. We've kept 4 clean sheets in a row. We beat Fulham 3-0, Wolves 4-0. Important to note, though, in this game here, Aaron Ramsdale, 45th minute penalty save to keep it at 1-0 at half-time before he ran away with it. And then in the FA Cup against Blackburn, we did our due diligence and made sure we got through pretty well. In today's episode, we're also discussing a person that is just kicking up a stink, and no matter what I do, this guy is not happy with me at all. Reiss Nelson is on a contract where he is apparently a regular starter and expects to be starting more than Saka. Obviously, this is ludicrous, funny, and stupid. And if you watch Arsenal in real life, Reiss Nelson sits on the bench, makes sure it's nice and warm, and then eventually comes on and does some decent stuff when he does. I'm very disappointed that he's taken this route and he's very upset. I've tried numerous times to tell him he's a squad player, hasn't. So I started starting him. He's got 6 assists in 8 games in the Prem. I'm very happy with him. I don't want to let him go. If you have a look, out of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, he started 7 of the last 8 games, or played 7 of the last 8 games. He's been playing sporadically in and around as well in the last 20. I just don't understand what more he wants. I just don't get how you make him happy. I feel like we played him multiple times over the last month and a half while he's been complaining. I've tried telling him that he's kind of over himself, and then in the meeting I decided to tell him that, you don't have the work rate to work here, you don't have the stability to play professional football, and he kicked up a stink. I'm trying to sell him for big money. He wants a 69 mil asking price. I've put it up. We can't get bids in for him. I really need him to go, or else then things will happen. Because he doesn't get in over Martinelli, he doesn't get in over Saka, he doesn't get in over anyone really in the Arsenal squad, but he's a very good player to keep around. But yeah, that is a thing. Now, I have made a couple of signings here as well, and it's mainly to appease the board more than anything. I do need another defensive midfielder. I don't know why this is a thing, but, apparently Zaire Emery wants to leave for 22 mil, wants 170k a week. It is a save where I'm not planning on spending maybe more than a year here. I signed him. Now, I thought French players could move before they turned 18. Apparently, they can't. But yeah, apparently have to wait till next year to use Emery if we're still here. And then put a bid in for Hassan, another well-known wonder kid. Apparently, he can move now. Now, he's not going to be a defensive midfielder that I would look to, swap Declan Rice out for instance, or party-wise away on African Cup of Nations. But what I will get with Hassan is someone that can play out on the right, someone that can play in the middle, someone that can probably learn to play up front, someone that can play at defensive midfielder if needs be. And hopefully, those two signings will make the board happy that if we don't win the league, we finish top 4, they will turn around and go, okay, we've done what we needed to do and off we go, because they're not 100% happy with us at the moment. I will say, if you look at the league table, we are 5 points behind Man City, and they do have a game in hand, which kind of shows they're running away with it. At least we are ahead of Liverpool, and even if they win their game in hand, we'll still be ahead of Liverpool. And this is actually a big game for Spurs, because if they win this game, they will right in the hunt with ourselves, and Ange is doing a fantastic job. If you have a look at the senior squad here, they are flying through the ranks here, playing in that 4-3-3 of Ange's. Obviously, it's a system I know pretty well because I've watched a lot of Ange, being Australian, and hopefully we can beat Mr. Postecoglou today. The team has rotated a little bit over time, but we're in a pretty good spot at the moment. Ramsdale's in net, Ben White, Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko will start. Declan Rice is playing at anchor man because obviously Thomas Partey is at the African Cup of Nations, and Mr. Lewis Skelly, every time he's played in this deeper line playmaker role on support, has looked fantastic, and he's going to get the North London Derby because I trust him over Jorginho. He now has a bid from Newcastle, and I'm looking to sell, mainly to get his wage out of 130k because I've barely been using him, and obviously for us to win the league, Declan Rice and Partey need to start together in the middle of the park. Saka out on the right, who we've been managing his minutes over this busy period. Odegaard through the middle, Martinelli on the left, and Gabriel Jesus up front. It is a pretty world-class front 4 and a world-class defensive midfielder, and Saliba's a world-class defender, and Ramsdale on FM is a world-class goalkeeper. I'm pretty happy with the squad outside of Reiss Nelson trying to make everything upset and angry here. I will say that Declan Rice and a couple of the others do agree that we should be playing him a bit more. Unfortunately, just not fitting the squad. Now let's go and have a look how they're lining up here. I would expect it pretty similar to real life. Vicario, Real, obviously that should be Pedro Porro. Maybe he might be injured. Mickey van der Ven, Ben Davies. Pedro Porro's on the bench. Don't know why he's not playing. Not match fit. Maybe come back from an injury. Benton Core, Holgerberg, and Lo Celso. No Madison. No, he's on the right. And Solomon and Son up front. It's a weird team. I think with Spurs, you play 4-3 or 4-2-3-1 with Madison in the 10. I'll probably try and play it this way with Madison playing as an 8, getting forward. I think with that sort of team, Pedro Porro has to start. If I was in charge, and Brennan Johnson on FM, I actually really like, and I would start Brennan Johnson. But yeah, that's a very interesting side. Anyway, let's get into the side, get into the game here, and hopefully we go and beat. Skip's another one that I think on FM he grows into a very good midfielder that's worth starting as well. And I do expect Spurs to be maybe a couple years away from winning the Premier League, and one of the teams who will take a couple years to win the Prem with. Anyway, Son makes a very good run, hits, scores. If he's onside, that is the first goal we've conceded in the last 4 games. How long's Party out for? If they win the African Cup of Nations on FM, it takes a month, even though in real life it probably takes around the same time. That's a ball and a half, and that's a finish. Ramsdale probably should do better. We concede. 1-0 down. That's the first goal we've conceded in 4 games, boys. In a monstrous game here, we have conceded. We've won every game. If we can get out of this game here, get back into it, find a goal, win the game, would be nice. But even get a point, beat Chelsea, keeps us in and around this title fight, sort of. I don't think anyone's going to catch City from here, to be fair. City just look like they're going to win the league in a canter. But, 30-odd minutes played. Ange is stifling us. And, we can't really touch the ball, can't really create. It's one shot versus one shot. It's not really been a game of any quality here at all. This is a very drab first half. That's not very Ange-esque, this. But Ange is keeping a clean sheet and has scored. Got to tell the boys that they were terrible and start maybe the second half a little bit better here, as we need to look at getting some movement out there. Zinchenko finds Martinelli, who runs into himself, and then in the end we get it back. Ramsdale, good ball in a Declan Rice, finds Saka, drives inside onto his left foot, looks for Lewis Skelly, but put him under pressure. Skelly wins it back though, and that's what I mean, man. The 17-year-old looks fantastic in this role. Martinelli drives inside and loses out. Lo Celso now goes on a run. Back here was the Mickey van der Ven. Goes long looking for Holgerberg. Heads down towards Son. Saliba sweeps up because it's Saliba and he's very good. Gabriel now. Mistake. Son. Great save from Ramsdale. A mistake back there. Skelly, yet again, the 17-year-old's the most calmest on the ball out there at the moment. And it keeps possession. It has not been good. Corner here. I would love us to go long with this corner because we haven't looked like working the ball around. And we just give it away. This is one of the worst performances we've put in this season, boys. It does not look good at all. This is nearly as bad as when we played against Manchester United. Declan Rice fails to lay a tackle. Mickey van der Ven. Davies. Good tackle from Jesus. Lewis Skelly. Martinelli, who I think I'm about to whip off. He's done not much. Cuts it towards Lewis Skelly. Needs help. The 17-year-old doesn't get help. Hits it just wide. No one presented for him. Jesus has gone down with a knock. And, well, Gabriel Jesus has apparently done a foot injury there. Havertz has been scoring goals. So I'm actually going to bring Havertz in, which is one change. I'm also going to take this opportunity here to bring in... Trossard's not doing much. Smith-Rowe hasn't done too much. Martinelli's on a booking. We don't look good out here. Ben White's going to come off if Tomiyasu has been getting assists. Martinelli I'm going to leave out there for now, but he's on the chopping block. Need to find something in this game. Tomiyasu finds Odegaard. Goes all the way back there to Ramsdale, which is perfectly fine. Gabriel. I will say if we lose this game, we're probably not catching City. This is a game we have to win. Martinelli, getting towards the byline. Can he create something? Cuts it in the box. Vicario reads it so well. We cannot get near Ange and his possession-based football. I do not think we're winning the league this year based on this result. We just have too many of these games in us. Now, I thought the 4-2-3-1 got rid of these sort of games where we don't create nothing or anything like that. And they've worked an overload here. Madison, good ball looking for Son. Gabriel does well and sweeps it up. And then makes another mistake. And then fouls his man. He should actually be sent off for that. That's cynical. Jesus. This is one of the worst performances I've seen this season. Now, don't send Gabriel off, please. Apparently, he doesn't even get a booking. Okay. Ramsdale just saved a penalty against Wolves. Can he save one against Lo Celso? No, he can't. We're 2-0 down. Very odd that Lo Celso took that, not Son, not Madison. There we go. All right. Martinelli's going to come off here. Trossard's going to come on. Fabio Vieira's actually going to come in as well. Odegaard's had a stinker. Actually, Odegaard's actually going to go in a deep line playmaker just to keep him on the park as well. I'm going to do those. This has been very, very poor. Zinchenko's had his worst game for the club as well today. Mate, we're not coming back into this by the looks of it. No point taking off Gabriel because I don't think there's much else we're going to be able to do. Zinchenko finds Fabio Vieira, hits it. Good finish. Well worked. We get a lifeline. If we could find an equaliser out of nowhere. If we could find an equaliser out of nowhere, it would be huge. Saka looks dead, but I don't have Reece Nelson on the bench because of disciplinary reasons. Fabio Vieira strikes that. That's a great finish. Highlight. Emerson Royal, Oliver Skip. Romero. Well done, Havertz. Trossard made a very good run. And then decided to stop. I don't know why they keep stopping. Gonna get rid of this inside forward role, I reckon. Verta winger works better. Winger works the best. Pedro Porro on the overlap. Finds Son. It's all come from our wingers stopping yet again. Son's in. What football? Wow. That was. Sometimes you just got to give credit where credit's due. That is some football and a half. That's superb. Saka's dead. Smith Rowe's going to come on. More resting him than anything. I think that's game over now. Spurs have lit us up. We're going to lose a North London derby. That means 2 games against Spurs we drew and lost, which the fans aren't going to be happy about. Our job is not particularly safe here if we don't finish inside the top 4. I actually think we would be in big amounts of trouble. This is one of the worst games we played. Spurs would go 1 point behind us. City will have 2 games in hand. And yeah, this is title over sort of thing. This is a very, very, very... This is a very, very, very poor performance. And we have not lost the game. We have not conceded in 4. And then bang, 3 goals against Spurs. Just makes no sense. Just out of nowhere, bang, you just cop it. Saliba's got to get himself set off for the Chelsea game. Oh, could this go worse? Could this go worse right now? Oh, we have thrown it away. After going on a great one, we have thrown it away. It's only our 2nd red card of the whole season, so it's not that we're on like get stuck in or anything to go get red cards. Ben Davies is going to score. 4-1 down now. We have not conceded in 4 games and we're 4-1 down to Spurs. Well. Let's hope we don't get sacked at the back of this game. The goal to win the title here in this first season is now just gone out the window. Congratulations to Ange. Jesus is out for 3 weeks. Saliba's suspended. And we play Chelsea in 17 days' time. Club vision. Supporters. Finish above Spurs in the league is apparently a good thing, but I thought that would have been, get the better of Spurs would have been a thing. So maybe we get lucky in here. Oh, wow. Wow. I'll see you guys in a second for the Chelsea game at the end of deadline day. There might be some transfer drama here as well. What do we do? I actually think what we need to do is get rid of Gabriel now. I know he's averaging us over a 7, but I don't rate you as a centre-back on Football Manager. Even though it looks decent enough. That is just, yeah. I don't know what you say about that one. Honestly, I do not. We have not conceded in the last 4 games. We have, ever since moving into 4-2-3-1, we have not lost a game. And then out of nowhere, bang, 4-1 against Spurs. Season is cooked and over. Here we are. Chelsea sacked their manager. Nagelsmann's first game in charge, and they sit in 11th. We obviously just lost the Spurs and got pumped, but mercifully for us, because we got through in the FA Cup, this Fleetwood and Southampton game needed to be played. Fleetwood got through, and because in the FA Cup we had a game between this and Chelsea, Saliba is going to be back here as well. We did win 3-1. I have to show you a couple things though. First things first is, I know this is their goal. Just watch Tomiyasu stomp on Patterson. This is the best. Like, he realised he's going to get beat. Tomiyasu realised he's going to get beat here. So he just goes, I'm going to kick you now. I'm glad they scored, but kicked him, broke his leg. I love the dog in him. You're starting over Ben White against Chelsea because I want to see you do that to Raheem Sterling. Do it. Do it now, which is great. Second thing I need to show you is Ethan at 16 years of age started on the left and is playing outrageously well and is developing. And his second goal is an extraordinary goal at 16 years of age. And it's going to lead me into the next point. We're going to have a little bit of not a rant, but a little bit of a discussion of what we're trying to do. And there we are. Picks it up in his own half, drives in between 2 or 3 guys, leaves them all for dead. Keeper comes out, side foots it with composure, look like Lionel Messi. Unbelievable. He's going to be starting because Martinelli's playing an under-23 tournament with Brazil, which is odd. He's not 100% fit, apparently. That's very odd. But he's going to start. By the way, he played as the winger role. The winger role is so much better than the inside forward. I'm probably going to use Martinelli in that role as well. With that too, Odegaard is not 100%, so Vieira's going to come in as well. Partey needs a rest, but this is a game where you're going to have to play him in. Skelly has been looking good as well. 5-star potential. What I'm trying to get at is I don't think we're going to win the league this season. We're already 11 points behind City. Unless City start losing games out of nowhere, we're not going to win the league. So what I'm going to focus on is we need players for next season that are going to be good to do a job. And straight away, you look at the team, you look at the backup. If I go into the rotation team, for instance, Tomiyasu, Gabriel can come in because I've signed a centre-back who I'm going to speak about. Kiwor, need a backup left-back. Tell you straight away, he never should be out on loan, ever. But Kieran Tierney, backup left-back, arguably starting next year at 26 years of age. So we've got that left-back, right? Still, right-back's an issue because we don't have a bombing on right-back, even though I think Tomiyasu has been fine. Needed a backup defensive midfielder. You guys already know I signed Emery. I've now officially signed Hassan as well. Then you're looking at the front three. Obviously, Reece Nelson we're trying to sell, so Smith Rowe, Havertz in the hole, Ethan on the left, and Nketiah up front. Don't like that particularly. Fabio Vieira should probably be playing, but he's the one last person I need to speak about as well as Fabio. Is as much as we've been playing Fabio Vieira a lot recently, hasn't missed a game in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Has not missed a game in his last 10. Played 11 of the last 12. He's still unhappy that he hasn't played enough minutes. So like Reece Nelson, we've got another player that is not happy with his minutes. On top of that, Trossard has also turned around and said the same thing. My plan is sell Trossard, sell Nelson. I just saw Jorginho. Bring in $200 and something million worth of transfer budget. And then we're going to go big on a complete wing-back for next season. I'm thinking Cancelo from Man City. And with that, have a very star-studded first 11, and off we go. Now, let's go through the transfers that we have already done. You guys know Emery's coming in at 22, backup defensive midfielder, perfect for this. Can play anchor, can play deeper lying, can play either way. Very happy with him. Hassan's come in more to keep the board happy that he's an 18-year-old. But what I like about Hassan is he can play in the hole, he can play out wide, he can play in the 10, he can even play up front, we can train him to play up as an advanced forward. What I like about Hassan being 18 years of age is I can put him on the bench, he can play in multiple positions. Like Ethan, I think it's a very good couple of kids to have. And I think being backups, they're good enough to impact the game now and develop throughout the next season. Now, I know we're trying to win the league with Arsenal this year. It's not going to happen. Next year, we should win the league. But if we don't, and it's third season, so be it. The team should be good enough to win it there. Now, a lucky last transfer that has come in, but he cannot play today because he's on African Cup of Nations, is a guy that I'm not happy we signed, but I'm very happy. By the way, we've still got Timber to come back in that can play right back as well, but he's not my sort of right back, is Asuma Diamonde. Now, what I like about Asuma is he's physically fantastic and he's very good. Gabriel's not getting any younger. Gabriel's a little bit, Asuma Diamonde does not have the greatest amount of potential, but I think he's good enough playing in the Premier League. He will get better, and he's physically a monster and a wonder kid. So I like him. I wanted to bring in Tomori. I wanted to bring in a ready-made centre-back. They wanted 140 million to sell him, right? I wanted to bring in, maybe Hinakape, right? For instance, Pedro. He's at Bio 04, nothing special. 170 million. When Virgil van Dijk cost 80, these guys should not be costing over 100 and something million to be picking them up. So with that being said, Diamonde was my only choice because I could pick him up for 40 odd. And I even think with the clauses, it's going to be quite expensive. It's going to be 59. So as much as we're trying to buy world-class talent, with the money we actually have to spend, which is not much, I can't buy world-class talent that impact the team and really improve it right now because everyone's values are inflated. The only way we're going to pick these players up is when they become upset that they don't qualify for Europe in one season, whatever. This is the hard thing about toppling City in this save, is City's team is perfect from season 1. So even though Liverpool, Man United, this Arsenal side, maybe Chelsea if you get going early, Newcastle if you spend enough money in that first transfer window, all teams you might be able to win the league in one season, unless City aren't having the best of year, which they've only lost one game all year, which was to Man United, you're not going to beat them because their squad's actually perfect. And your squad isn't. And the values because of the Saudi League are so out on Football Manager because everything's inflated and then the board doesn't give you enough money to do whatever. So, makes things very interesting. Odegaard's out injured. He's not out for too long. It's only another 4 to 8 days, but he is out, unfortunately. Trossard will make the bench just because he can, but I'm going to look to sell him. And Ray is going to come out here for Ramsdale, of course, as well. That's the rotated team. Okay, first team, thank you. There we go. Odegaard out, that out. Skelly's going to make it into here, but not actually start. And Ethan's going to make it into here. I'm going to give him the first half and then get him off. We're going to get in Fabio Vieira into the hole. Hopefully becomes happy because I want to keep him. But yeah, so your team to play Chelsea, and in a must-win game, if we are looking to somehow stay close enough to City to win the title, if they start dropping points out of nowhere, goes to some injuries, is Ramsdale. Ben White will start because he links up well with Saka, but I prefer Tomiyasu. Saliba, Gabriel Zinchenko, which, look, it is what it is, but I don't think Gabriel's that great. Saliba's not the greatest covering defender. At least Suma Diamonde can play as a covering centre-back pretty well because of his pace and will play. Partey and Rice, I actually prefer him the other way around because Declan Rice actually scores goals. The Anchorman sits on the edge of the box and hits long shots for me, so switch him around. Saka on the right, Vieira on the left. Ethan's going to get a start because he deserves after what he did in the FA Cup. Gabriel Jesus is not 100% fit as well, but he's going to play as well. All right. So not 100% fit Arsenal side. I'm already banking free subs already picking this team, but this is the season on the line. If I don't win this game, you guys will only see me for a Champions League big tie or then the end of the end of the season when the season comes to an end. Let's go and have a look at Chelsea are lining up here because I do think they've got a squad on Football Manager paper that is good enough to win the league. Not in real life, but on Football Manager, you know, like I said, if I can win the league with West Ham in 2 seasons, in Glory Hunter, then he can do it here. Their performance is awful. Sterling, Nkuku, Madueke, Jackson, Thiago Silva at the back. I think they're a team that on FM should be doing a lot better. Like Slavia is pretty good. Enzo Fernandez is pretty good. Chilwell, James doesn't get as injured. You're pretty okay. We've also rejected about 40 million for Kiewor from Bayern. And Sterling, what a save from Ramsdale. This is Nagelsmann's first game in charge, and Chelsea have a moment. Be very typical that out of nowhere the system just decides to stop working. But yeah, Saliba heads away, Fabio Vieira clears, and Ethan's up front by himself. He can beat people. He's pretty tired already, but I wanted to reward the fact he looks so good in the FA Cup. And I think if we can get these guys developing, it'd be really, really good. Saka looks for White, who going to get himself sent off. Ben White, I'm on the last straw of Ben White. I think he needs to be sold too. I think he's awful. Ethan's going to do that, and he's going to have to come off here, and Tomiyasu is going to go in, and Vieira's is going to go on that left-hand side. Another 10 men. Well, last time we were 10 men, we beat Newcastle 2-1. And here we go again. Tomiyasu now. Can't beat Sterling. Poor ball. Partey, Vieira deflected, hits the post. Jesus, was he fouled? No, he wasn't. Didn't think it was. And 15 minutes in, we hit the post. This kind of sums up our year. Just in these bigger games, we just don't rock up. We're all right against all the smaller sides, but in these bigger games, we do not rock up. We're just not good enough. Which, to be fair, in real life, Arsenal in big matches, they're lucky to get a draw against Liverpool in real life. Last year, they didn't win the league after being in a position to win the league because they weren't able to deal with it. I will say City are just the greatest team about chasing teams down in the league, but yeah. Anyway, Rice, Fabio Vieira, good touch, hits one just over the bar. And this is what I like about Fabio Vieira. I look at Fabio and go, I see a world where you can, be very good for us. But I don't think he wants to stay here long term. Saka does well. Left foot, Saka beats Sanchez. We look better with 10 than we do with 11. We are 1-0 up. Great run, great finish from Saka. And we lead 1-0 against Chelsea 36 minutes in to keep our fleeting league title hopes alive. If we win this game, more than likely we'll be giving you Manchester City as an episode. But we'll wait and we'll see. Time it ticks away. Sayul into Madueke. Tomiyasu wins. Saka now. Goes on a run. Keeps going on a run. Keep going, Saka. Got no run with him. Holds it up enough for Jesus, who finishes it. What a run from Saka. World class. And in the end, Gabriel Jesus, who has scored a lot of goals for us this season, I've actually been very happy with him. Thought this would be one of the guys I'll be looking to replace. He's looked very good this year. On one leg, Jesus scores. And there we are. We're going to get him in the half-time with the lead and 2-0. Declan Rice is dead. Party's dead. Time ticks away here. 2-0 up here against Chelsea at half-time. Brilliant. Pretty happy with that. I am going to get Jesus off, though, and we are going to bring in Havertz, who's played okay up front at times. Declan Rice is dead. Party's dead. I don't like this. I don't want to waste another stoppage. I guess it doesn't really matter. Give me 10 minutes. Give me 10 minutes of used guys running around. Can we maybe get a goal with these guys still on the park? And then we'll take these guys off. Saka, short of Vieira. Options in there. Havertz. 3-0. With 10 men, we've turned it on. We're 3-0 up. Ben White lucky. But with 10 men, we turn it on. Fabio Vieira's had a very good game. Same with Saka. And Havertz at the front stick. Used his body to get half a yard. And that's through Sanchez and in. With that being said, I am going to make a couple of changes now. And those changes are going to be Declan Rice off for Kiwor and Skelly on for Party. Very much like for like. We continue on. Very happy with how today has gone, obviously. Very poor against Spurs, but very good against Chelsea. Liverpool 4-0 up. As you can see from the table, City are winning, so they're on 60 points. Don't think they're going to get caught. Fabio Vieira has had a very good day. Whips one around the wall, just over the bar. 70 minutes played. Saka looks pretty tired as well. And when you're 3-0 up and you can take off your best players, do it. I believe in that. And I am going to bring in Smith Rowe because obviously we got people on the bench that we would bring on if needs be. Brentford beating United, that's good for us to finish in the top 4, which is what the board wants. And if we can do that, then we're all right. Time ticks away. Luton beating Newcastle. There you go. Well, that's our 4th clean sheet in 5 matches. Newcastle scored late to get a draw against Luton there. But yeah, that's our 4th clean sheet in 5 matches. Brilliant performance with 10 men. Ben White has to have a hard look at himself. But I'm very happy with that. The boys look very good. And that is a great performance. Declan Rice 8.0 playing as an anchor. And I am over the moon with what has been a very, very, very good result. Unfortunately, Man City are just running away with the title. We're not going to be catching them anytime soon. But it's a win, and that's very good. Now, in terms of next episode, Manchester City in April is probably the more likely games to say, hey, this is how the season's going. And then probably give you the goal of the Man United game and just call the season there, because I don't think we're winning the league. But if we go on a run in the Champions League, we've got finaled in the round of 16. If we can make it to the semi-final, we'll give you that as we try to win the Champions League, obviously. That will help us. But until next time, thank you for checking out another episode. Very poor against Spurs, good against Chelsea. Made a couple of signings. Hopefully we get a little bit more money next season to spend. But yeah, it's not been great, but it's been not bad. Catch you guys later. Thank you and goodbye.